The Baltimore Ravens are officially walking a tightrope in the NFL season. Week number 8 isn't just another date on the calendar, it's a defining moment. With 4 straight losses hanging over their heads like a storm cloud, every snap against the Chicago Bears feels heavier, more urgent. And on the other sideline, you've got a Bears team riding high on a 4-game win streak, looking more confident each week under their first-year head coach Ben Johnson. But don't let the momentum fool you. This clash is layered with tension, history, and a whole lot of pressure. Ben Johnson had some pretty telling words when asked about the Ravens. He didn't get caught up in their record or the losing streak. Instead, he offered a different perspective, one that might just be shared by a lot of people around the league. He said the Ravens' record doesn't reflect what they're capable of, that this is still a team that can put up points in bunches and has a defense that, historically under John Harbaugh, always finds a way to bounce back. That's not just flattery. That's the type of respect that's earned over years, not just weeks. It's easy to write off a team when they're losing, but what makes this Ravens situation so fascinating is that the pieces are still there. The talent hasn't disappeared. You look at the roster and it's stacked with names that should be making more noise. But somehow, it hasn't clicked. Injuries have been brutal. Internal distractions haven't helped either. There's even been confusion about who removed things from the locker room. A ping-pong table, a basketball hoop, and whether it was a team decision or a coaching staff crackdown. That might seem minor, but it speaks to the broader atmosphere in Baltimore right now. It's tense. There's a feeling of trying to find direction in the middle of a storm. Kyle Hamilton spoke to that desperation in a powerful way. He said it best. When your back's against the wall, you don't just stand there. You swing. You throw punches. That's the energy this Ravens team needs to carry into Sunday. Because this isn't just about playoff hopes anymore. This is about identity, about proving they still belong in the fight. And if there's a symbol of that fight, it's Lamar Jackson. The quarterback returned to practice on Wednesday, and his presence immediately shifted the energy. He was limited, yes, but just having him back on the field gives the Ravens hope. Lamar is the heartbeat of this offense. Without him, the ceiling drops dramatically. With him, this is still one of the most dangerous teams in football, if they can stay healthy and find rhythm. There's cautious optimism surrounding the Ravens' injury report. Lamar was limited, but key players like Zay Flowers, Patrick Ricard, Roquan Smith, Ronnie Stanley, and T.Z. Walker were full participants. Kyle Hamilton was also limited, and cornerback Marlon Humphrey did not practice. Edge rusher Tavius Robinson was placed on injured reserve, but Emory Jones has been activated in his place. And the Bears? They're banged up too. DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore didn't practice, which could significantly affect their offensive output. So yes, health matters. And heading into this game, the Ravens seem to have a slight edge in that department. But here's the thing. Even with Lamar Jackson back, this game is far from a layup. Because the Bears, for all their flaws, are doing something the Ravens haven't been able to do lately. They're finding ways to win. Even when it's ugly. Even when it's close. Last-minute drives, clutch turnovers, guys stepping up in key moments. That's been the formula. And if there's a coach who understands how to exploit vulnerabilities, it's Ben Johnson. Roquan Smith knows all about the Bears. He was once the centerpiece of that defense. Now he's lining up on the other side, possibly with something to prove. Johnson had high praise for Roquan, calling him fast, instinctual, a see-ball, get-ball type of linebacker. And that's the version the Ravens need right now. Not the one who's been struggling with consistency and injuries this year, but the one who used to command the middle of the field like a general. The emotions will be running high for Roquan, and maybe, just maybe, that gives him an edge. He says he feels refreshed, regenerated, and ready. That might sound like just another quote, but in a week where everything is on the line, mindset matters. And then there's the defense. Statistically, it's been bad. Let's not sugarcoat it. Dead last in points allowed. Bottom 3 in total yards. They're not creating turnovers, and they're not getting to the quarterback. Those are 2 things that you simply can't survive without in today's NFL. Even more alarming? Their sack leader, Nnamdi Matabike, hasn't played since week 2 and is out for the year. Tavius Robinson, the rookie who started to show flashes, is now on IR. The pass rush is thin. The secondary has been exposed. And red zone defense? Bottom 5 in the league. Still, there's a glimmer of hope. That game against the Rams before the bye showed some life. Baltimore held a dangerous offense to just 17 points. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. And it's moments like that, when you realize what this unit can do, that make you wonder if there's still time to turn it around. Now that the stage is set, the real question becomes, what exactly needs to happen on the field for the Ravens to finally right the ship? And what are the Bears going to do to keep their winning streak alive? This matchup is more than just a tale of two teams trending in opposite directions. It's about what each side is willing to do when the pressure is cranked to its highest setting. For Baltimore, it all starts, and possibly ends, with Lamar Jackson. If he's on the field, there's at least a chance for the Ravens to regain their offensive rhythm. But it's not as simple as just plugging him back in and expecting magic. The offensive line has been shaky all year, and Lamar's had to bail them out on more plays than he should. His mobility masks a lot of problems, but even he has limits. Defenses are blitzing more, their disguising coverage is better, and Baltimore's protection schemes haven't kept up. So if Lamar isn't at or near 100%, and that hamstring isn't allowing him to be as explosive, the offense could stall out fast. Zay Flowers, meanwhile, is emerging as the go-to target, and he's earned that role. His route running is polished, his ability after the catch is dangerous, and he's clearly building chemistry with Lamar. But with so much of the passing game funneling through him, he's going to start drawing more defensive attention, especially if the Bears are without their top corners and are forced to improvise. That could be an opportunity for Rashad Bateman or DeAndre Hopkins to finally have their breakout game. But up to now, the Ravens haven't shown they can consistently spread the ball around and win that way. In the run game, Derrick Henry has been a strange fit. There are moments, flashes, where he looks like the bruising back they traded for, but then there are stretches where he's barely involved. It doesn't make sense. You have one of the most dominant power runners of this generation, and too often, he's not being used in short yardage or red zone situations. Baltimore's red zone offense has been one of the worst in the league this season, converting under half of their trips into touchdowns. That's not going to cut it, especially against a Bears defense that has proven to be opportunistic in the most critical moments. Ben Johnson knows all of this. He's watched the film. He's watched this Ravens team overthink simple situations. He's seen them call unnecessary screens, go away from their power running game inside the 5-yard line, and settle for field goals when they should be scoring touchdowns. And on the flip side, he's probably telling his defense, keep everything in front of you. Gang tackle Derrick Henry. Don't let Zay Flowers take over. And most importantly, create chaos. Because that's where the Bears thrive, in the chaos. Whether it's a tipped pass turning into a pick, a fumble recovered in the red zone, or simply capitalizing on a moment of hesitation, they've found ways to snatch wins from the smallest openings. But for Chicago, it's not all smooth sailing. Caleb Williams, for all the hype, is still learning. There have been throws that should have been intercepted. There have been moments where the timing with receivers is clearly off. The Bears' offense has leaned on the ground game more and more in recent weeks, and that might actually be their best shot against a Ravens front that's missing key pieces and lacks depth at the edge. If the offensive line can get to the second level and put pressure on Roquan Smith, that could open up the field for big runs and make play action even more effective. Roquan is the wild card in this game. This is the revenge spot. He knows that building across the field. He knows the system. He knows some of the tendencies. But how healthy is he? That hamstring has been nagging him all year. And while he's still the emotional leader of the defense, there have been times this season where he just hasn't looked like himself. If he's able to find that extra gear against his former team, it could be the spark Baltimore's defense needs. But if he's still limited, it's going to be tough to stop a Bears offense that's finally found some rhythm, especially on the ground. And it's not just Roquan. The Ravens' front seven has been pushed around at times. They're not getting pressure with 4. They've had to blitz more than they'd like, and the secondary has suffered because of it. Even with young guys like Nate Wiggins showing promise, there's only so much you can do when the quarterback has 4 or 5 seconds to throw. The Bears have been great at neutralizing pass rush by getting the ball out quick and setting up short, manageable third downs. If Baltimore can't find a way to force long yardage situations, this could turn into a long afternoon. It all comes back to turnovers. Baltimore's defense has been near the bottom of the league in takeaways. You cannot survive in this league without extra possessions. The Bears, on the other hand, are forcing them like crazy. Strip sacks, deflected picks, fumbles on special teams. They're finding every possible way to tilt the field in their favor. So for the Ravens, ball security is everything. Protecting the football, finishing drives, and making every possession count is the only way they stay in this game. And don't overlook the red zone on defense either. The Bears have been one of the more efficient teams when they get inside the 20. They're not settling for field goals. They're finishing. If Baltimore continues to give up touchdowns instead of threes, it's going to be hard to keep up, even with Lamar Jackson back. What makes this game so fascinating is how many different ways it could go. If Baltimore comes out hot, forces a turnover early, and scores quick, that crowd's going to come alive. And that could rattle a young quarterback like Caleb Williams. But if Chicago gets rolling first, if they build confidence early, and the Ravens start pressing again, we could see more of the same issues that have plagued them all season. And for the Bears, this is a measuring stick game. Yeah, they've won 4 straight, but critics will say the competition hasn't been all that impressive. The Saints, the Raiders, the Commanders, solid, but not elite. The Ravens, even in the middle of a losing streak, are still viewed as a real test. If the Bears can go into Baltimore and win, or even compete until the final whistle, that says something about where they're heading. There's something poetic about this matchup. One team trying to salvage a season that once had Super Bowl aspirations, now clinging to hope. The other trying to prove they've finally turned a corner after years of rebuilding and disappointment. And in the middle of it all, you've got stars like Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Roquan Smith, DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, guys capable of flipping a game in one play. It's not just Week 8. It's not just another Sunday. For the Ravens, it's a chance to survive. For the Bears, it's a chance to prove they belong. And in a league where every moment counts, this one might matter more than most. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. The locker room of the Ravens on fire is reportedly in turmoil, sources say, as tensions between players are beginning to boil over. What started as a series of minor disagreements during training sessions has allegedly escalated into full-blown arguments behind closed doors, leaving coaches and team officials scrambling to contain the situation. Insiders claim that the atmosphere within the team has shifted dramatically, with some players openly questioning the leadership and strategies being employed this season. According to whispers circulating in the league, clashes between veteran stars and younger talents have become increasingly frequent. One source, speaking under the condition of anonymity, revealed that the disagreements are not only about on-field tactics, but also extend to off-field behavior and the division of responsibilities among the roster. It's like no one wants to back down, the insider said. You can feel it in the air. It's tense every time they meet in the locker room. Fans and analysts alike are watching closely, as the Ravens on fire have historically been known for their resilience. But this latest storm could test even the strongest bonds. Some speculate that if the situation continues unchecked, it could influence upcoming games, potentially affecting team morale and performance on the field. The coaching staff is reportedly holding private meetings with players to smooth things over, but details remain scarce, fueling speculation that the discord could be deeper than initially assumed. While the organization has officially dismissed the reports as locker room chatter, the rumor mill refuses to die down. Social media is already buzzing with fan theories, and former players have weighed in, suggesting that the current unrest could be a turning point in the team's season. Whether it will lead to a complete shakeup or fade as a temporary spat remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. The Ravens on fire are facing a storm behind the scenes, and the league is watching closely. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.